So I think we're now going to move over to Madhumangala Prabhu, who is in LA, and he's up really, really early. I think it's like 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. So Dandavat Pranams, Sriman Madhumangala Prabhu. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam to everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Well, I want to correct a little bit. I couldn't sleep at all last night. I was anxious. I was like wondering, jotting down some notes and scrapping them again and again. So what was I going to say? And you know, it's always interesting when I go after my parents, because it's such a tough act to follow. They're really humble, just as every Gurudev's devotee is, in their experiencing and the ways they share their experiences and live their experiences. We all crave for more. And I, for one, I can probably not compete or even come close, but I'll share what I have from the very young age. I was introduced to the Gurudev. Just like my father said, we met in 1997. Right behind our house, there's like 1 block away from our house. Gurudev used to come and visit. And I was very young, didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, what we are doing. All I knew is my mom insisted on us going somewhere to meet this spiritual guru who was very known in the circles around, in and around our neighborhood. And as you know, there's a lot of gurus in India, a lot of gurus, but a true guru, a Sadguru, is very tough to find. And my experience with meeting Gurudev for the very first time was just incredible. Walking in there, I see Gurudev for the very first time. I see his eyes, and his eyes are so mesmerizing. You can just stare at him and forget where you are. And then you hear him speak. It's hard to describe. There's so much nectar in his voice, but also the sternness that comes from Gurudev. And I'll share those experiences a little bit later. But as I heard him talk, he immediately stood across as a different kind of guru. I'd heard from Asaramji and other Gurudev, and I was like, I'm in the presence of a guru who is speaking directly with Srimati Radharani, can narrate Krishna's pastimes, and involve everybody in the process. Take them there. It's just not about sharing the experiences, it's about taking you there. It was heartwarming. I followed my parents' lead in taking Harinam from Gurudev a couple of days later. We were fortunate enough to receive his mercy almost immediately. One of the things for me was, as I said earlier, I was very young. I spend my years now regretting the time that I did not take with Gurudev as much as I could, as well as I should have taken. When you're young, your idea of a lot of association, a lot of friends means you get to play. And I would be the one who would, whenever I would see a lot of my God brothers, I would go and say, hey, okay, let's go play some cricket. Let's go play some basketball, or just do something, some shenanigans that would not be there. But I would always hear Gurudev's Vani, his voice in my ear, hearing his kirtan every day. And I think indirectly, I benefited from that, because here I am halfway around the world, as Didi was saying earlier. I'm here in the United States, and I have never felt closer to Gurudev as I feel now. And that is because of his mercy. his time that he gave me, uh, the relationships with all the Sangha, the Guru devotees, it made me feel closer to him and appreciate him even more than I possibly could fathom or could imagine, because of all the mercy he bestowed upon me. One of his experiences, actually many of his experiences, uh, he always knew what was going on in his devotees' mind, and he always knew how to tailor his approach to all of his devotees, I felt. So the first time I met Gurudev and the last time I met Gurudev, he would always ask me the same question: Kitni mala karta hai? How many rounds do you do a day? And that was a particularly embarrassing subject for me, just because I didn't do enough at all. And it was almost like going into the headmaster's office. If you'd done something wrong in school, you go into the superintendent's office or the principal's office. And it felt like that. My heart would just beat a lot faster every time I would go in. And it was almost like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go because I know what he's going to ask me. I'm going to feel really bad. So maybe I should stand outside. But Gurudev was a magnet. You could not be there and not see him. So it was almost like, yeah, I don't want to go, but I want to go inside and I want to take a minute just to see him. And as I grew older, I appreciated his strictness with me a lot more, because I feel he had a huge role to play in making me a sliver of a devotee that I am today. I came to United States in 2007. I was without Sangha for a long, long time. It was just me and my work. And when I was growing up, I'd heard of this mystical, beautiful place called Badger. And for those of you that know, Badger is Gurudev's home away from Vrindavan and Braja. It's called New Braja in the United States. And Gurudev would have thousands of devotees come every year he was there. And all experience I had when I was young was watching it on video. I would look at it and just be delighted by the amount of devotees, all the love he was sharing overseas with everybody. And I just had this uncanny attraction towards that place. And now I live 4 hours away from Badger, and had the good fortune a couple of years ago to take my family there, all of us in tow, because it's always been a dream of ours to be there. Take all of us to see the place that Gurudev cherished, enjoyed, and you feel his presence there. You feel the love that all the devotees share for him, the pastimes that he had over there, the Sangha that he created, and it came to fruition. I did not ever imagine I would end up there in California, much less be close to Badger. And when I moved to California, I was immediately surrounded by so many devotees. And now I feel I'm closer to him more than ever. Another experience that's a lot of kindness bestowed upon me from Gurudev was I went to meet him in this place called Ojai. It's a little bit on the outskirts of Los Angeles. It's not extremely populous, but I went to see Gurudev there. And that was the last time I met Gurudev face to face. While I was there, I went up to see Madha Maharaj because he's the gatekeeper. Nobody gets through without seeing Madha Maharaj. And I asked him, I said, hey, can I meet Gurudev for a minute? And he was just so delighted and taken aback. He's like, you are here? And it was like just reuniting you with your family after so long. He's like, of course, give me 2 minutes. And then I went inside Gurudev's room, gave him my Dandavat Pranam, offered some flowers. And it's like Gurudev never forgot. Guess what question he asked me? Kitni mala karta hai? And I was like, wow. So many years, 20 years later, 10 years since we last met, and that's the first question he asked me. And I reflect upon that every time I talk about this experience, because he's not doing it for himself, he's doing it for us, because that's how important we are to him, because he wants, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was posted in the group, in Srila Gurudev's memory group. Somebody said, and my sister took that and updated it. It says, to all devotees, I can always pray. I'm always praying that you may achieve pure bhakti. And it's true. He's always looking out for us. So all of the devotees at all time can achieve pure bhakti. That same visit with Gurudev, we were outside. I remember it was Ekadasi, and I was sitting over there, and I said, somebody said Gurudev needs to get malish done right now. Everybody, leave. And I said, can I stay and massage, right? For Gurudev, he needs to get massage done. So everybody needs to go. And I said, may I stay? And Madhu Maharaj gave me the opportunity to give Gurudev massage on his feet, help him. And I was like, I just almost tore down. I said, on such an auspicious day, on Ekadasi, I can massage Srila Gurudev's feet, give him massage, and it was an unbelievable experience for me to touch my Srila Gurudev's feet and just do my 2 bit of seva. Was really ecstatic experience for me. As I said before, when I came first to the United States, I was so far removed from Sangha, because there weren't a lot of devotees on East Coast in the United States, in Virginia. Everyone was far away. And when I first got there, I was just really involved with my projects. So it was really difficult. But when I came here to California, no matter where I looked, I found Sangha, I found devotees. And it wasn't like meeting them for the first time. And that in itself is the compassion your guru bestows upon you. Because no matter in which place, where I am around the world, I always feel I'm close to devotees, to sadhu sangha, and in essence, my family. Whether I'm here talking to you from Los Angeles, or I'm watching you in London, or in Netherlands, or in Germany, or in United States, it does not matter, because you're always surrounded. You just have to seek out and look, and you don't have to look very far, because Gurudev has made this all possible for us. When I was young, I promise this is my last experience I'll share today, so we can hear from my sister and from everyone else. But I used to be incredibly jealous. I did not want to share my Gurudev with anybody. So even though as a child, I didn't hear much from Gurudev, or sit through his lectures call it ADHD or just call it a childhood, one in my playtime as well. I had an incredible amount of affection for Gurudev, and I didn't want to share him. Whenever he'd leave for his Western tour, where he was going to United States or going to Europe or around the world, my heart just broke because I was away from Gurudev. I couldn't see him. And I would always ask my family, I was like, why does he go overseas so much? Why can't he just stay here so I can see him or go to him and whenever I want to? And I would love it, right? It's almost like a Maha feast going on or a festival going on whenever Gurudev would come visit. And I want to ask my parents to share, if my father can, to share the experience when Gurudev stayed at home, because that's a very powerful experience. But regardless, what I want to do is, so I felt separated from Gurudev every time he would go to the West. But now that I'm here on the other side of the world, I see he was setting up a foundation for me. I see that he was doing this not because he wanted to, because he had to, because he wanted to have everybody flourish and receive nourishment from Sadhu Sangha. And as I said before, this is perhaps one of the greatest gifts that he has given to me, is to have God brothers, God sisters, to Yashoda, I think it was Yashodananda Prabhu's point earlier, God aunt, God uncle, God sister, God brother, God family, everywhere around the world. It would not have been possible if Sri Gurudev did not leave Mathura, leave Vrindavan to go and bestow his mercy upon his devotees. So thank you so much for giving me the time and really getting up and speaking with you. And thank you.
Madhumangala, thank you for getting up so early in the day and refreshing our hearts with your beautiful guitar. How old are you, Prabhu? What year were you born?
I was born in '83, so.
Oh, in '83. Okay. So I was in that when Gurudev came on that first tour. I was one of the guys in Badger. I wasn't from Badger. I was from London, but I was in that first Badger Sangha when he came over and really seduced everybody with his heartfelt devotion and his humility with Param Gurudev and his glorification of Prabhupada. It was just extraordinary. And do you preach much, Prabhu?
I do not. No, I'm not qualified.
No. You should, because you have a very engaging way of sharing Kata. And the first lesson of humility is to know that we're not qualified. But the second lesson is to know that it doesn't matter we're not qualified, because we have the sanction of Parampara. Because you were saying how you didn't want to share Gurudev, but actually what you're doing now and preaching is now you want to share him. And it's the most generous of spirits when you share what's in your heart. Other people don't have what's in your heart because you have Gurudev. So I strongly encourage you, urge you, if you can, engage in any type of kata, because you have a very nice way of engaging and holding the person's attention so that there can be some transmission from Gurudev through you to us. And that's what's so relishable about having each other's association, is that we can see Gurudev in each other, and actually we can nourish our relationship with our own Guru by feeling that sincerity in the heart of another disciple. It's very special. So beautiful, well done, wonderful Pushpanjali. Thank you so much for getting up early, and I hope to be able to meet you at some point.
It would be my pleasure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Is there much going on in LA at the moment?
We're starting to open up a little bit. So all the devotees are getting together. We used to have a Didi. She actually moved to Puri, and that was our congregation house. We would all get together and we would meet and share Gurudev's pastime. we do have a couple of really, really nice devotees here. Actually, I know that one of them will be joining on one of the Bhakti Zoom classes soon. So yeah,
Well,
we're fortunate to meet again.
I'm inspired to ask you on the 11th of July 2021, which is Rath Yatra in Puri, we're having World Sankirtan Day, the International Day of Joy. So if you feel inspired, we want to have 108 Sankirtans around the world, all live streamed simultaneously. So if you feel inspired to organize one in LA, that would be amazing.
Consider it done.
Beautiful. We'll be in touch.
Yes, absolutely, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hari Bol. Dandavats.
Hari Bol. Dandavats.
Hari Bol.